So we stopped yesterday at this place where they are having a dilemma whether to take him inside or whether to leave him outside. And we know that they take him inside. So he will die unless he is operated on, right? Sadao said, considering. The question is whether he will not die anyway. So we had discussed yesterday that both ways he will die. How? Either he is saved and then he is ended to the police, or he dies because the surgery is not successful. And there's a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. There is these 4 quadrants which apply to us in life and also in mathematics. We know plus and minus. Yes or no? Plus, minus, minus. Like that? Math is correct? Yes or no? This quadrant is called win-win. This quadrant is called win-lose. This quadrant is called lose-lose. And this quadrant is called again win-lose. Now, win-lose games are games like football. Is also game theory a little bit. So, after looking at this, where do you think this lies? This thing that we are discussing. For the enemy soldier. Lose-lose. Also for Sadao it is lose-lose. What is he going to do with the surgery anyways when the person is going to get killed? And this is a very important concept which I don't think you even pay attention to and understand. You should always play from the idea of win-win. And this is the idea of the name of our school, Atmiya or Atmiyata. Why? Nobody loses. And this is the quadrant from where there is a connection over here. Nobody understands this, so nobody will talk about this. There's a connection between the chapter Indigo over here. So the question is, why did Gandhiji ask only for how much? 25% or 50%? Why? Because he wanted to play from the win-win thing. Which was what? With money, the Britishers. This is important, my dear friends. Don't look at my face. If there's a smart teacher somewhere and who understands this, they might ask a question of a combined thing between Indigo and enemy. With the money, Britishers were also giving what? Their prestige. And so he was allowing them to win partially. And then from the win-win, now people thought Gandhi is foolish. Or the Britishers at least, maybe. Or they were not completely. They thought if we call Gandhi whenever there is a national problem, he will make a compromise. He will play from this quadrant of life, which is win-win, which is from Atmiyata. So every time there was a problem after the Indigo chapter, they called Gandhi. And that is where we had the foot in the door, and that is one reason, paying from win-win, we got our independence. And most of the games are win-lose. If you play a table tennis game, it is a win-lose. One team wins, the other team loses. If it's a volleyball game, one team wins, other team loses. There's an entire book written by Stephen Covey on this idea. It is, what is the book called? Not The Eighth Habit. I will tell you. But the entire book talks about this quadrant, win-win. We had couple of books, but people didn't read it. Every single concept in the book talks about this win-win quadrant, talks about Atmiyata. If you want to win in life, you always have to lead your life from the win-win quadrant. But we will not be able to do it. So, Hannah cried out in fear. Don't try to save him. What if he should live? Where is Hannah thinking from? Win-lose. Or lose-lose. Why? Because she's afraid. Anyways, he's going to die. We are not going to help him. But where is... So, Sadao is thinking from the Hippocratic Oath, but where is he thinking from? The win-win quadrant. Where if I win, my friend also wins, which is very tough. If I stand first in the class, my friend also stands first in the class. Never it has happened. But in Atmiya Vidya Mandir, it can happen. That was dream. That is the vision of our school. All 25 of you stand same marks. Hard. But we don't understand this because we are too distracted of the things that we should not be doing. Chalo, you will not understand. This is too much for you. What if he should die? Sadao replied. Then again we are win-win. We operated, he died, we handed him over to the police. He's still playing from the win-win. But if he survives, then they are in win-lose. Because what will the Japanese government think about that? What if he should die? Sadao replied. He stood gazing down on the motionless man. The man is motionless because he is half dead. He is half dead. This man must have extraordinary vitality, energy. Why? Because he is young. That is what we keep asking you. When you are young, you can do anything. You become old like me, you can't do much. And plus, military. Good your parents didn't send you to a military boarding school. You would not have survived, any of you. And the food would have been awesome, authentic, typical. ये बड़ा बड़ा रोटी देते थे, इतना सब्जी देते थे, इतना दाल देते थे, खा लो, इतना rice. You're spoiled. And that is why you'll not be able to do anything. I'm sorry, you spoiled it. Unless you decide. And in life, everywhere, situations don't control things. It is the people who control the situations. They decide what they want to do in their life, no matter what is the condition, rain or shine. Not for it. Or he would have been dead by now. He would have been dead by now if he did not have the energy of a military man. He is a military man? Yes or no? He must have gone through some training maybe. Or plus he is young, and that is why he can survive all of these gun wounds and hardships in life. For you, if we ask you to stand for 3 hours, you will not be able to stand. But in my class, you don't stand. But in the other class, 10 people stand. Why? Because it is punishment to yourself. Because you have not gained the vitality you need. But then he was very young, perhaps, not yet, 25. Approximate age, they are guessing. What is his age? Not more than 25. That is his age. He is that young. And you are also not more than 25. You mean die from the operation? Hannah asked. Yes, Sadao said. He can also die from the operation. Why? Because it might be too late to save him. Though he is the best doctor, it might be too late to save him. Lot of bleeding has occurred. He might die. Is he in the hospital? No, in the hospital you have different hands, nurses, other doctors, equipment. Can they take him to the hospital? No. If they take him to the hospital, they will be called traitors. Hospital, he will not be able to do anything. He has to just call the police, and in that time he will die. So there is just little time left to decide whether he should operate or not operate. That is the dilemma. Hannah considered this doubtfully. And when she did not answer, Sadao turned away. She did not answer because again she is afraid. Win lose, win lose, win lose. At any rate, something must be done with him. Either we should let him be, die, or I must perform surgery. That is what he is thinking. And first, he must be washed. So, let's not think about more. We don't have more time. First, let him be washed. And remember, we talked about a character called Yumi who takes care of their children. And Hana is going to call her to wash. And Sadao is going to inform the servants. He went quickly out of the room, Sadao. He over here, Sadao. And Hannah came behind him. She did not wish to be left alone with the white man. She is confused. She is afraid. She does not know. So as soon as Sadao left the room, where is he? He is in the old father's room, who is dead. Sadao left the room. Hannah left behind him. He was the first she had seen since she left America. So after they had come to Japan, they had never gone back to America. And in Japan, all the people were Japanese. So after college, she's the first white man she's seeing, an American, is this fellow. He was the first she had seen since she left America, and now he seemed to have nothing to do with those whom she had known there. And she had no relationship with them. She did not care about US people. But because they have brought this white man into the house, even if you know you don't care about the person, what will the servants think about them? Servants will think these guys are still connected to the Americans. They are obliged to the Americans. And during the war, they should not be saving an American, and that is why they have brought an American. But that is not their feeling. But sometimes you are put in a situation where you cannot explain. Accept it. Go further. Do the things, do the right things, and then the world will stop asking you questions. But you don't want to do the right things. And all for a long period of time. People will ask questions. Those whom she had known there. Here he was her enemy, a menace, a problem, living or dead. Menace means a problem. Here he was the enemy. But what will the servants think? They are obliged to the Americans, and they are like kind of soft. They have a soft corner. That is what people say. You have like a soft corner. You have a bias against the Americans, or you like the Americans. That is not the case. They are the enemy. She turned to the nursery. Nursery is where, this is not the nursery in school. This is nursery is also called a place or a small room where children are kept. And who takes care of them? Who is the ayah? Yumi. What is the ayah word called in English? Nanny. Very good. Nanny. English nanny. Where did we find that word? Tiger King. So nanny. So they are going to ask the nanny to wash the white man. Yes or no? What is her name? She's a servant. Her name is Yumi. She takes care of the children. But the children heard her voice. Whose voice? Hannah's voice. So when they hear the mother's voice, they would run towards them or they would call them. And she had to go in for a moment and smile at them. Does she want to smile right now? She is panicked. She is in agony. She is in confusion. But because the children have called, she cannot let that pass on to the children. She has to remain happy. And play with the baby boy. Now really 3 months old. How old is the baby boy? Just 3 months. Very small baby. And you know why they should be worried? If both of them are put into jail because of misunderstanding, what will happen to the small baby? And that panics them. But still, they do what they need to do. Are you getting my point? Do you think Hannah will be spared? They will say, no, both were partners in crime. If Sadao was not ready, Hannah should have informed. If Hannah was not ready, servants should have informed. And who will be most panicked? The servants, because they are poor. They are from a lower background thing. So anytime the police catches somebody, The problem will always go to the lower level of the people. Yes or no? Yeah, problem always is with the lower level people, the teachers. हमारा बच्चा पढ़ता नहीं है, कैसे पढ़ेगा भैया? 10 किलो मिठाई खाता है. क्या खाया आज? हाँ, डूंगर भर के मग ममरा खाया. क्या करेगा? कैसे पढ़ेगा? उसको हम इंटरेस्ट मग ममरा है, क्या होगा? No problem. It's okay. 3 months old. Do you understand the mother's worry? Yes or no? Over the baby's soft black hair. The baby had very soft black hair. Small baby, 3 months old. You can imagine in your head. She motioned with her mouth. Yumi, come with me. She is giving a command. Leave the children. Yumi, come with me. She is acting like a boss. I will put the baby to bed. Yumi replied. He is ready. So she put the baby in the small bed or the cradle or the crib as they call it. They are also called cribs. They are also called, cradle is like a swing. It's also a crib. She went with Yumi into the bedroom next to the nursery and stood with the boy in her arms while Yumi spread the sleeping quilts on the floor and laid the baby between them. So they properly put the baby between cushions so that the baby does not fall out. Yes or no? So they made the baby, put in a comfortable position to sleep. And then Hannah led the way quickly and softly to the kitchen. Where did they go? Kitchen. From the nursery they went to the kitchen. They did not go straight to the room where the white man was. The two servants were frightened at what their master had just told them. Who is the master over here? Sadao. Sadao, remember they had agreed? He will go and tell the servants and Hannah will go and tell the lady servant Yumi. Had just told them. The old gardener, who was a house servant, pulled up the few hairs on her upper lip. So maybe he had a mustache. Could not speak. And he was like angry also. Why? Because he is a poor man. He does not like this idea of having a enemy soldier in the house. And he is old. And he believes that this is going to get them into trouble. They were all fine, right? But this is going to get them into trouble. The master ought not to heal the wound of this white man, he said bluntly to Hannah. He could not tell this to Sadao. So he told it to Hannah. So he is directly not able to say this to Sadao. So indirectly he is saying to Sadao through Hannah. He said to Hannah, Sadao should not perform surgery on this man. It's not a good thing to do. Let him die. Call the police. Hand him over. Don't do such a thing. English medium. The master ought not, should not, ought not to heal the wound, means perform surgery of this white man, he said bluntly, directly to Hannah. Why? Because he could not face Sadao. The white man ought to die. He is supposed to die. Now he is giving reasons why he is supposed to die. He is just explaining, but he is afraid. First, he was shot. So he was supposed to die then. गोली मारी थी उसको, तभी मर जाना चाहिए था. Second, then the sea caught him and wounded him with rocks. Then he was supposed to die. Second time he was supposed to die. If the master heals what the gun did and what the sea did, they will take revenge on us. Indirectly saying that we are putting ourselves into trouble. This man was supposed to die. The nature, God or whatever had decided that he should die. First the gun wound. Second the gun wound with the spiky rocks. But now if the master saves him, it's going to bring them trouble, because who had decided all of this? Nature. That he's supposed to die. I will tell him what you say, Hannah replied courteously. Because he was an old man, he was a good servant, old servant. Hannah told him courteously, with respect, politely, whatever you have said, I will pass on the message. Right? Sometimes servants are treated as kaka kaki, mama mami, parents in the house when they are old. When they are serving your family for a very long time, you call them kaka. So she said, Kaka, I understand what you are telling me. I will tell Sada, it's not in my hand. But she herself was also frightened. Why was she frightened? If you have a 3-month-old baby, you have to take care of that small baby and then you are putting yourself into trouble. Is this a good idea? No. But we bring ourselves trouble. We do silly things and we are put on probation and whatnot. Continue. Go do the good work. 12th standard children going on probation. Why take class? Stop everything. Enjoy your life. Why bring trouble to teachers? But she herself was also frightened, although she was not superstitious. She was not superstitious. She was not guessing, as the old man was. Old man was not superstitious, maybe, but he was just articulating something in a nice way. But he might be superstitious also. Yes or no? Why superstitious? Because he's thinking like, he was supposed to die with this, and then the sea will and the God will take revenge. So that is superstition. Could it ever be well to help an enemy? Now this is the main idea of the chapter. Could it be ever be well to help an enemy? And sometimes the enemies are not outside, the enemies are inside. People think about the outside enemies more than the inside enemies. And I think if you take care of the inside enemies, sometimes the outside enemies will vanish themselves. Why? Because you are focused on what you need to do. You need to do. But then if you think about outside, you focus on the external enemies. So here there's an external enemy, but more of it is a win for anybody is the internal enemy. If we take care of our internal enemies, we'll be able to study, but we are not ready, and then we take on external enemies. We do things and make, people who are allies to take wrong things against you. Teachers are your best allies, but you want them to go on the other side. What will happen? They are your best allies. The other thing is you don't talk and tell them things openly, and that is your problem. So many times, every day in the morning, we talk about the good things. You're not doing the things you're supposed to be doing. Nevertheless, she told Yumi to fetch the hot water. Go get hot water and bring it to the room where the white man was. She can order, command. Generally, she does not do that. She's a nice lady. But here, if she does not command, people will not do the things. She went ahead and slid back the partitions. There are partitions. Sada was not yet there. Why? Maybe because he's collecting the equipment to do the surgery. Yumi, following, put down her wooden bucket. So the bucket is wooden, olden days. No stainless steel. No copper iron. Then she went over to the white man. When she saw him, her thick lips folded themselves into stubbornness. She also became stubborn. If it was you, ma'am, I would have washed you if you were not well. But I will not wash a white man. He is my enemy. Or I can do this. You getting my point or not getting my point? But the teachers get you to wear diapers every single day. They are your servants, right? Why is she stubborn? Of course, we know. I have never washed a white man, she said, and I will not wash so dirty a one now. She is denying. She is denying. She will not wash. Of course. Hannah cried at her severely. got angry because a servant who has never told no is telling her no. People don't want to listen to no. Servant who has never told her no because she is a servant is telling her no, I will not do a certain task. And that is what happens to us. Our heart and soul and mind tells us study, study, study. But we listen to them as gods and we do what they want. And they say, don't study, don't study, don't study. And we say, wow, you are my friend. I will not study, I will not study, I will not study. And you don't study. Where are the enemies? Inside. Our demons are inside, they are not outside. So she got angry. Generally, I think according to Hannah's character, she is a very good woman. She will not cry or get angry. But she is because she is also in a bad situation. You will do what your master commands you to do. You will do what I tell you to do. I am your master, you are my servant. Do you want the job or not? Do you think she will talk like this to anybody in the house? No. But the situation commands. And she is also panicked. There was so fierce a look of resistance upon Yumi's round, dull face that Hannah felt unreasonably afraid. Yumi did not move. She did not say anything. She just stood there. And Hannah got afraid. Because what if she forces her and she, after the washing, even if she does it, she leaves the house, straight goes to the police. It will be a big problem. They will not be able to explain their side to the country, the police. So Hannah became afraid. Anyway, she is afraid. After all, if the servant should report something to that was not as it happened. Yes or no? They don't understand. Do you think Hannah considered this guy as friend? Do you think Sadao considers this guy as a friend? No, but what will the servants think, or what would somebody who doesn't know their mind? That is the problem. We don't know anybody's mind and we are guessing all the time. And then why should we guess other people's mind? Try and avoid your mind and do what you need to do. Internal problems. All our problems are internal problems, not external problems. I can study. Who's the problem? You are the problem. I don't want to study. Who's the problem? You are the problem. If you have a doubt and the teacher doesn't want to solve it, the problem is external. But here only the teachers will solve it. Outside of these four walls, when you go next year outside, the world out there is going to be awesome. You're going to be treated. They will put the red carpet onto you and say, welcome, the princes of the world. And they'll offer everything to you. Because you are what? King's son? Very well, she said with dignity. You understand, we only want to bring him to his senses. We all only want him to survive. So that we can turn him over as a prisoner. She makes it clear to Yumi what they want to do. Then people will think, common people will think, अगर पुलिस को हैंडल करने के लिए देना है तो भैया क्यों बचा रहे हो? And that's the big problem we have. That is where the doctor comes in. And then now we'll see further that they will also say that Sadao is so proud of his profession and he wants to prove that he can save anybody, and that is why he's doing the surgery. Even that is not the case. Sometimes people want to prove other people wrong and they do the things, and that is also a wrong thing. You don't want to study to prove other people wrong. You want to study because that is what is right, but we have to put in those things in there because you don't understand it. Why should you study? So that is what is life about. What will you do if you don't? But we have to throw in other things. So same here. Do you think Yumi understands this? No. I will have to do nothing with it. I will not be involved in this because I'm a poor person. Yumi said, I'm a poor person and it is not my business. I will get into trouble. I have family. I am a small person. They will put me into jail. I don't want to go to jail. This is all indirect. It is not my business. I don't want to go to jail. Or I don't want to get into trouble because of you, because of your decision. And that is correct. They are not involved. Why should they get involved? Why should teachers care so much about you? They should not. They should not. Why? This is the last place you will be cared about. No, the world does not care about you. Nobody. Then please, Hannah said gently, return to your work. Then Hannah told her, go back to your work. Take care of the kids. What is go to your work? Take care of the kids. That is what your job is. Do that. At once, Yumi left the room. But this left Hannah with the white man alone. And remember, she was afraid. If she liked the person, she would not have been afraid. But Yumi doesn't know this, that even she is afraid. She might have been too afraid to stay had not her anger at Yumi's stubbornness now sustained her. She has become angry and her emotions are elevated. And now, because of that, she could stay with the white man. But if she was her normal soft self, she would have run away. Yumi has helped her. And that is a problem with us also. If we decide that I want to get it done, that at that elevated level you can get anything now. But what do you decide? You don't decide anything. You just do what is offered to you. Means Mag Mamra, have a bucket full. Put so much fuel in your body more than it is required. If you put more petrol in the car than it is required, it will overflow. Sometimes the engine will not start. You need diesel and you put petrol, engine will get stuck. You need this much and you put so much. What will happen to you? Stupid Yumi! Do you think she will talk like this? She muttered fiercely, is this anything but a man? And a wounded, helpless man? Will he do anything? She is also talking to herself. Yes or no? Yes or no? Why? Because she is afraid. What is this man going to do to me? He is a helpless man. He can't even move. He is weak. Talking to herself. In the conviction of her own superiority. तुम नहीं करोगे मैं कर दूंगी ऐसा આવું કોઈ કરી લે તો કામ થઈ જાય સર તમારે નહીં કહેવું પડે કેટલી વાર કહેવાનું હવે કરીને દેખાડીશું એવી સુપિરિયોરિટી બી માણસ રાખે તો કામ થઈ જાય એનું ભલે ઈગોથી કરે She bent impulsively means fast, and untied the knotted rugs that she kept the white man covered. When she had his breast bare, she dipped the small clean towel that Yumi had brought into the steaming hot water and washed his face carefully. First, what she did, she removed her clothes, upper body, and then dipped the towel, hot towel, made it very hot with hot water, and then first rubbed his face. The man's skin, though rough with exposure, he was rough with exposure, was of a fine texture. Clean skin, young man, and must have been very blonde as a child. He must have been a very blonde. She can now compare this with her own baby. And that is why I sometimes tell you that looking at your face at your age, you should be looking like a bright man. But some of you look like, I don't know why, and I know why. So we'll stop over here and we'll take it from there tomorrow.